Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to this new channel, I suppose. My personal diary, I guess, because it's just gonna be, I don't know, my journey. Nah, not my journey. Don't care about my journey. It's about going forward. Oh, wait, it is about my journey. Okay, yeah. So these videos are not scripted. I don't have script. I'm just gonna speak what I am thinking, right? Okay, so basically, this is a trading channel, as you can see. I'm coming in with full disclosure, no funny business. I'm not selling anything, I don't care about that. This is just basically for me as my dear diary, basically. So, okay, I think a good starting point is where I am currently. I think that's a good starting point. So, as you can see, it's not looking too good, right? But we are here to grow, to become better, to become more consistent, and the only way to get there is through processes like these, where you're looking through your mistakes, you are taking accountability, you know, you're just trying to become better. End of the day. So this is my funding challenge, right? Obviously, it's in losses. Not obviously, but of course, of course it is. Or whatever. Started March 17 last year, right? March this year. It's been a year. Not been going good, I guess, because yeah, man, the consistency is not yet at a level where you actually should be having such a large account size as a challenge, because psychologically it does affect you, and you're more susceptible to psychological mistakes considering the size of the account. So I have thought about that, and it is what it is currently at this point. So it is very, very deep in losses, right? Digging yourself out of like this trench, Mariana Trench, is gonna be hard, right? I don't think it'll be possible in a few months. Maybe not, until you're consistently profitable, then that's when you can start thinking about digging yourself out of this trench. But anyway, we started off with a banger, right? Good percentages went up, but as always, if you're not consistent, the cracks will show and your true nature will be exposed. And so from then on, it has been an elevator to hell, basically, because it has just been going down, 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 down to January 27, 2025. So from this point, you can see it is starting to stabilize, right? Starting to stabilize. It's becoming of a break even, more of a break even type of graph, right? Even though we are currently in deficit for the year, partly because of some minor bad decisions, right? You make a few bad decisions, and they do show up on your overall equity graph like this, right? So I'll get into that in a moment, but for now, this is it. This is the full disclosure, right? It is not going as good as you would hope, mainly because the consistency in the process is not where it should be. I think that's the part that I need to be accountable about, because my processes are there. I do have a process that I follow, but I'm not following it consistently, right? And then the results show when you are not following your process consistently, then you deviate from your plan. Once you deviate from your plan, you get hurt for it. So the whole point of this channel is for me to upload consistently, right? Every day except maybe Saturdays, because it's Saturday, there's nothing there. Sunday, maybe a weekly market breakdown, and maybe a trade recap for the week. I'm not sure if I want to do like one session of trade recap for the whole week, or just every day maybe post a second video of the trade recap, right? The point is you're trying to journal your trades, you're trying to make sure you don't make the same mistakes, and you're trying to keep yourself accountable. And this whole channel's point is an accountability thing for me, right? Where I come in, I show my process, right? And then when I look back at it and I see that I'm still not following the process, then I should not be surprised that the results show. Because in previous times, like for most of these, let me switch over to the Notion, and then I can make a better example. If we go back to 2024, let's go back to 2024 in April. Everything is here, right? You've recorded the trades, and it's just loss after loss after loss after loss after loss after loss, right? You just come into a random one, and then you start to find things like these where high up in the leg, right? Then it's where you need to start asking yourself, what was I seeing in this moment? Where what could I have changed today, right? Trades like these, they're not too bad, right? According to how I view the market. But then you get stuff like this where you entered right before the US news, which is stupid, right? Because the news can go in any direction, and then that is not according to your plan. You find yourself losing because of something like that, right? Then but anyway, I've come in, I've written down my reasons. At least I can go back and look at these, and now the thing is, to where I am now, I haven't taken the time to actually go back and look at these mistakes, which is part of the accountability thing, where you are not follow of me. Maybe that not me not talk in the third person, but me, I am not following the process of the basics. Just going back, looking at previous mistakes and trying to avoid making the same mistakes. Trying to avoid making the same mistakes. Like this week, you take a 2% loss, which is unnecessary, right? This is an unnecessary loss because of greed, basically. It's basically greed. You come in, you see potentially there may be a trade here, but then you overestimate the chance of it actually working out, and you come in with a 2% risk, which is not according to plan. And it's stuff like that, right? The small stuff where you could have had a 1% loss, it is now exacerbated to a 2% loss, unnecessary, right? These are the kind of things that hurt your baseline. This is the kind of stuff that I want to try and work on, right? Not want to, but I have to work on for me to become better. For me to become better, these are the types of things I want to work on. In this day and age, like after so much trading, so much time in the industry, but you're still taking losses to greed, you know. Now these are the psychological things. You come in, according to my plan, I should be taking a 3%, 1:3 R. You in, you out, you're comfortable with that. The one time you choose to say, let me try and catch the 5R because it allows me to target higher, right? When you do that, you lose, right? You lose because you're deviating from the plan. The whole point of the trading plan it's tested, it has an edge, and if you deviate from that, it will show, the results will show that you are deviating from the plan. So this week was a 0.44% loss, right? 0.44% loss. Not the best week I've had, honestly. It should have been a 0.33% loss, but because I added in an extra trade that it shouldn't have been there, it's now 0.44 loss. Then we could go and look at my USD CAD trade from Friday, right? It's counter swing, plus it's counter internal. It's counter swing, it's counter internal. I should not be trading counter swing and counter internal. Avoid counter swing and counter, because they are lower probability, and where I am currently, I don't think I have enough skill to navigate the lower probability trades, right? So there is no point in you coming in and trading something that's low probability, because yes, it could work out. There are examples of it working out, but for you to have a much better baseline, you just avoid unnecessary trades like lower probability trades like counter swing, counter internal, right? It's like trying to catch a falling knife. There is no point in trying to catch a falling knife, because most times you will get cut, right? And this is not the first time this has happened. It has happened before. I just didn't look for another example. But the point I'm trying to make is you had a 2% loss here, which could have been 1%. You had a Euro USD loss here. This was a valid loss. It was according to plan. It didn't work out. It's probabilities. That's okay. But then you add this USD CAD loss here, and then you're down 4% in the week instead of only 2% if you had not deviated from your plan. Now, this has been the kind of the trend where my losses are exacerbated by me deviating from the plan, right? So in trying to gain consistency, sometimes it's not even about having a crazy win ratio, right? Because my win ratio right now is 21%, right? Which is bad, because it's 21%. You only taking 1:3 R trades, which means you are likely to be in losses, right? Okay, the math says that, but you don't need, this is not a true reflection of the strategies win rate, right? Because if you factor in my own psychological downfall, or the discrepancy between the trading system and myself, that is the gap that I need to cover. I need to get closer to the system's performance under no psychological impact. Like if you back testing, you have no psychological issues, because it's not real money on the line, it's not your funding on the line, so you have less psychological issues, right? Now the whole thing is I'm trying to cover the gap between the system's performance and my performance, because there's a discrepancy. I'm much lower, I perform lower than the system performs, right? Now, talking about the win rate, the win rate doesn't have to be as high if you can cut out the trades that are unnecessary. If you cut out unnecessary losses, then your win rate will go up automatically, if I'm making any sense, right? So the past week, not even past week, past 2 weeks, past 2 weeks, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses in a row, right? If you look at the probabilities, you have a low win rate, so 6 losses in a row is not crazy, right? Because you do have a low win rate. So this is something you do expect. This is something you account for in your risk, right? The amount you risk, you should be accounting for taking 10 losses in a row, 20 losses in a row without actually losing the account. So I think my risk currently is managed very well, right? I'm managing I'm managing it very well. The only thing now is to fix the mistakes, right? Like the unnecessary trades. And then another side of it is the showing up, right? You I I don't show up as consistently as I should, right? You come in the morning, you analyze, then you don't have anything, let's say, because I do trade London and New York, right? But then you come into London, for example, on USD CAD. On USD CAD, you come into London here, you analyze, you have no trades basically through London. You have nothing valid according to your plan through London. And then I don't want to say you're demoralized, but you lose focus, right? You lose focus, and then you're not as sharp for New York. You don't come back, you don't set alerts on POIs, you don't check what happened, right? So the another point of this channel is for me to have a New York analysis, right? We're gonna have the London first. It's London. We have the analysis, and then we come back before New York open. We have more analysis. Now the point of the channel is for me to do that consistently instead of slacking off or just forgetting about it. And then you have something like this where in London you had no valid trades, and then you lose focus, right? Then you come into New York. In New York, there's a valid trade in here according to how I look at the markets. There's a valid trade in this zone, right? You have a valid trade, but you're not there to take it. This is another part of the problem with my baseline that's affecting my baseline is you have a valid trade, right? You have a valid trade. This trade would have run comfortably to your profit target, which is only 3R, right? If you had taken this trade, it is a perfect trade. You would have taken it if you had seen it, right? These losses that are running at 4%, you would have only ended the week at a 1% loss, right? If you had not taken the other two bad trades, right, you would have ended the week in profit. So this is the kind of stuff that is the difference between being profitable and being at break even and being in losses, right? Because I think this year has started out much better than last year. Like I'm using this current account as the baseline because I have been trading for much longer than the account has been here, right? But this is what is there. These are the results. This it's not faked. This is what it is. This is showing you the actual results, right? So this is my baseline. From here moving forward, I will use this as the baseline, right? You can see from last year it's just been going down. May going down, June down, July down, August you had a little bit of growth in August but gave it back. September down, October, November, it's gone. December you were not available. Not that you were not available, but you didn't bother, right? Another part of the problem where at certain times you it's like you've given up, right? You're no longer showing up. It's part of the problem because December there's valid setups. If you had showed up, you don't know if you could have helped your craft come back up. You don't know that, right? But because you've not showed up, then you're not there for the opportunity. Now, these are some of the things you want to work on, right? Just showing up, like literally showing up every day could turn this graph around. Literally, I believe that that's going to be the one of the biggest factors of going into profitability is literally just showing up more. Because if you don't show up, then it's impossible to be profitable because you're not showing up, right? You're not showing up for the winners. The bad part is you show up for all the losses, but if you don't show up for the winners, then how are you going to be profitable? But going back to the start of 2025, as you can see on this graph, it has been pretty much linear, right? It's not bad. It's not a step to hell, like an elevator to hell like this. it's showing signs of you playing more around break even, right? You're playing more around the break even point. All you need is just that little bit more showing up, making less mistakes, and you should be going into more of a profitable state, right? So that's the point basically of the channel, I think. I don't know how long I should make this introduction video, but I think I've covered the basis of what is important, right? This is the full transparency, the amount of trades you've taken, whatever. If you don't use my FX book, you should probably it's free. It gives you your stats as they are, so it it's literally worth it because it's free, bro. Now you can look through the trades, whatever. This year has been better. You taking a few losses, but then make a profit. Take a few losses, you make the profit, and then you take. Now my expectation is, I know the way the system is now, I should be making profits now. Just it's all about canceling out the mistakes, making less of them. I think you will still make mistakes, but the point is to just make less mistakes. If you make less mistakes, then you should be making more profit, right? 2024 down here, it is not good, man. It is not good. As you can see, every month, losing month. Very, very, very terrible. And but it's okay because it's what we want to work on, it's what we want to change. 2025 started off better, coming in with two profitable months. We had March, which was in losses, and then April currently is running in losses, but the month is not over yet, so anything could happen. They could become worse, they could become better, but the most important thing is just to show up, right? Now, in as a part of showing up, it's also important how you're going to move forward, right? I think that's also important because moving forward, I can't keep making the same mistakes, taking the same kind of losses, and then only later coming back and saying, ah man, I should have done this differently, I should have done that differently, right? I need to start actually looking at my trade plan before taking a trade, right? Because you have this thing of, I know my trade plan, I don't need to look at it, right? And that's another part of the problem because you deviate from it just because you're just assuming you have it in the back of your mind, and in most cases you don't, and then you take bad trades, and then you later regret that, I should have looked at my my trading plan before executing the trade. So moving forward, um, I'm gonna use this Bulletproof Your Mindset tool from Pat Bailuni on YouTube. You can check him out on YouTube, Trading Mindset Coach, right? I will be using this Master Your Trading Mindset, Bulletproof Your Mindset tool, just to level myself before entering a trade, right? Because another thing is, you don't take, or I don't take the time before a trade to like have a checklist of, does the trade meet my criteria, basically, right? It's where you see a trade, you execute on the trade, and then only after, when you start to record the trade in your journal, you realize that this trade was actually not valid, right? Only after you realize that, and you've already taken the loss, right? But if you could have a trading plan, like for the specific trade, where what criteria does it meet, right? Does the criteria it meet makes it a high probability trade or a low probability? Because you do want to stick to your high probability trades, right? So I think I will be using this Bulletproof Your Mindset tool. You will be seeing a lot of it in. Wait, actually, I'm not sure if you will be seeing it, because my plan is I will do like an end of day recap. It's gonna be London. it's going to be New York, start of London, start of New York, and then at the end of the day, record again and then compile that into one video to post as this is what happened on this specific day. If there's a trade on that day, like I'll do a separate video as a trade recap, like what was I seeing? Did I follow the process of the bulletproof your mindset, for example? Did I follow the process of the trade? Was it according to my plan? Right? I think that should help with minimizing mistakes, because right now I think my biggest problem is you have the skill, right? You have the skill, you have some of the experience, you also still carrying a lot of mistakes with you. So going forward, it's time to cut on those mistakes, right? Make less mistakes. That's the maybe maybe that will be the motto of the channel, to just make less mistakes. Make less mistakes. Make less mistakes. That's the motto of the channel. Okay. I think that is pretty much it for this video. Pretty much it. I think I've touched on everything I've wanted to touch on. I don't know. Quality of the video will be whatever. This is my trading journal, right? It is just my trading journal. There is no expectations for this. It is just something I think I'm speaking it into existence. This video, my first video, it's a video I'm going to come back to in the future. We don't have a time limit, because giving yourself a time limit for stuff like this is kind of bad for you psychologically, because if ever the time comes closer and you're not where you thought you would have been, you start making more mistakes because you want to get to where you said you'll be. So in the future, whenever it'll be, I'm speaking into existence that my first videos, this first video, this is the type of video you come back to and just laugh at. This used to be me, you know. These were the types of mistakes I was making, and now it is different. So yeah, I think that's it. I don't have an intro. I don't have an outro. I'll work on it at some point. Maybe make this a little bit more professional. I don't know. But for now, the whole point of this is just to post, because posting means you doing something, which means you following processes, which means if you follow processes, you become more consistent. And that is the whole point of this. The whole point of this channel is for me to become consistent, and that's it. The process, we following processes will lead to consistency, and with consistency comes profitability, and that's it. So yeah, thank you, and I know the only person who's gonna watch this video is the girl, so hi baby. Yeah. Shout out to you, my first subscriber. Let everybody know you are the first subscriber. The first viewer of this will be you. And yeah, that's it. Goodbye.